outside line. Here comes Ricky Carmichael behind him. Now they fan out 3 wide as they get into 3.
Wow, those trucks are
trouble already. On Austin Dillon in it, as well as Johnny Sauter. The 18 of Kyle Busch is also involved.
98. Oh, look at this truck. The 10.
Jennifer Jo Cobb also involved. A big accident getting into turn number 3. Landon Castle in the 98 also with damage.
Justin Lofton the 7. There's the 15 of Ted Musgrave.
Huge crash.
Trying to get into turn number 3. You see the damage of the Bass Pro Shop Chevy Silverado. Austin Dillon driving that truck.
Well, we crashed at 60 miles an hour.
You know, you ask why he's out there? Because he's got corporate sponsors on the side of that truck. And also, he'd like to think...
Oh, Hornaday's in the wall. Hornaday into the wall in the backstretch. Now Ricky Carmichael also in the 4, spinning. The 51 of Eric Almirola caught up in this. There's Johnny Benson in the 95 trying to avoid.
What a job by Nelson Piquet Jr. too, Phil.
Second time he's done a great job. Look at the damage to our champion, Ron Hornaday.
There's the 15 of Ted Musgrave.
Both the Billy Blues trucks, the 15 and the 51, tore up in this crash. There's the 51.
Unbelievable. There's Donnie Leah. We talked about him.
2 laps of racing to go.
2nd through 5th. They can't work it out side by side. Oh, inside. What a great
81
run.
of David Starr, and there's more contact. Ken Schrader gets into him. Dennis Setzer goes around. The 4 of Ricky Carmichael involved.
And remember the fuel situation. Now we're going to go overtime. We know Kyle Busch has to be low on fuel.
Brett Raymer in the 85 able to avoid Ken Schrader.
That's a hard hit for Kenny.
Kyle Busch to the win here last year. Kyle Busch was in the truck he's driving. Oh, there they go.
Hornaday goes around. The Ray Karthikeyan almost upside down, and he does go on his foot as Ron Hornaday.
There just wasn't any way.
Hornaday rolls again in turn number 1.
You said it, Michael.
You know, those bumpers not lining up, the trucks moving around all over the place. Let's see what caused this to start.
Looked like the Todd got pushed by the 95 of Grant Enfinger, and it turned him into the truck on the inside of him. And then you see Ron Hornaday going upside down.
Grant was just doing what he saw there. Ooh, wow, look at that hit late by...
That's Todd sideways right there into the 5.
I remember trying to get Travis Koppel to win here as he came off of turn 4 and looked like he had the lead that no one was. Problems. Travis Koppel involved in this one. He gets sideways, and now they pile up behind him.
Hornaday's in it. Brendan Gaughan is in it.
Looks like Todd Bodine potentially in it as well.
Look at all these
They're
trucks
not
in
done
the back.
wrecking yet.
Johnny Sauter, Matt Kraft, and Max Pappas all in this. TJ Bell had such a good run going. He's in it.
Todd Bodine, a lot of damage to that race truck. The 4th caution comes out, and it is the big one.
Heard somebody's radio, and I believe it might have been Travis Quapos that said he lost a tire.
Travis was right in front of this group.
Not sure. It looked like the left front may have been down.
There's Johanna Long.
Look at this. Damage to the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
There's got to be.
Neuenberger in the 07 also has damage.
15 trucks or more involved in that whole mess.
There's Matt Crafton. Doesn't look like a great deal of damage, but certainly involved in this.
I think the back of his truck is knocked. Yeah, there you go. The back of his is hurt. That's Todd Bodine there. He's definitely.
Here comes the 31 of James Busher up the middle.
I don't know if there's any room, but there trouble.
They go.
Problems as they go through the triangle. Austin Dillon is caught up in it. The 31 of Busher's caught up in it.
That's the rest of the field.
They're all in it. They're all in it.
There's only 2 guys left running.
The 2 that made it through, Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip. Take a look at the cars, trucks that are still under their own power.
Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, Miguel Paludo.
Chris Fontaine in the 84.
How about Austin Dillon? Look at all the damage on that 3 truck of Austin Dillon's.
There was some heavy contact. The 18 has got damage and looks like a steam engine.
Todd Bodine
this is his second
to climb out.
His second go around. He said, I guess that'll about do it right there, boys.
Trying to hold on to 3rd, but Ron Hornaday working to the
Hornaday's
inside.
going up.
Hornaday slides, and Hornaday's going to go around, and into the wall he goes.
took Cole Witt with him, too.
Maybe some other trucks involved in the aftermath.
Oh,
there's
yes.
one right there. Looks
Jack
like Jack Smith. How about the 16 of John King? Josh Richards in the 15 also gets involved.
All caught up when Ron Hornaday slides back down the racetrack.
Ron was aggressively trying to grab that spot away from Cole Witt. It didn't work out, obviously.
Got loose on the inside. We've seen it happen so many times, and this is a 4-time champion it happened to, and he was not able to save that truck. There's the damage to Josh Richards, number 15 truck. That's a KBM Kyle Busch Motorsports entry. There's John King in the 16 truck. Unfortunately, John.
Look at Kligerman. He's going to lean on. Oh, yes, I knew that was happening.
Parker Kligerman slides, hits the 32, catches the
Austin
Dillon in the 3.
Matt Crafton with some damage with the 88.
He clobbered Mark Martin. Crafton did. That's Dakota Armstrong down on the bottom. Johnny saw
right into the back of the 3. Parker Kligerman can't see. He ran right into the back of the 3.
Watch Parker Kligerman. He just gets loose right there the first time, but he doesn't give it up, Phil. He tried to stay in the gas, and he turns he and Mark Martin around, taking Austin Dillon with him.
Yeah, what a tough break for Austin Dillon.
And then Parker Kligerman, he can't see. He runs right into the back of the 3.
Trying to get back to pit road and does some more serious damage to that 29 truck.
Hornaday just didn't get a start that time, Phil.
Sure didn't.
He's falling all the way back outside the top 10.
Oh, and around goes Johnny Sauter. John King got in the back of him, and Sauter goes into the wall. He'll collect his teammate, Matt Crafton, as they come to the start-finish line. We will have another restart. They did not receive the white flag before Sauter got around and into the wall.
Depends on when the white flag got thrown.
Displayed, we see hard damage on the 81 of David Starr.
John King.
Brendan Gaughan's South Point Chevrolet with a tremendous amount of damage.
John King, Todd Bodine, Timothy Peters, Joey Coulter, Justin Lofton. They're your top 5. Look at your race leader. Obviously frustrated, had a chance to win here at Daytona.
I talked about.
You said it. He doesn't do this a lot. Hasn't been here before.
We talked about when he was going to push Jason White.
Side by side for the lead. Busher on the inside, Bodine on the outside. Oh, and around goes the 9 of Hornaday. Save it again. Coming out of 4, he does, but a hard hit behind him. The 14 of Brendan Newberry, hard into the wall. Also the 81 of David Starr.
Paulie Hiraka, there's Paulie's truck with a lot of damage.
What a hit by Newberry, though.
That's hard right-hand turn by Newberry and straight into the wall in turn 4. See the helmet moving. You always want to see the window net.
It's tough on these new repavement tracks to run side by side. You can see Matt Crafton there.
Ooh, up the racetrack, and there's a wreck behind him. Timothy Peters is going to slam into the wall as well.
Well,
the 82 goes around. That's Sean Core.
There's Timothy Peters right there.
There's the damage to the front end of the 17. We saw him going around.
That's our point leader.
He was leading coming into this race.
Look at all the damage to Paulie Hiraka's truck, the 5.
Had a 23-point lead over Ty Dillon.
There was a puddle of water underneath that 17 truck when he drove away, so more than likely he got the rating.
The next flag that flies is the one that will determine the winner of this race.
Can't believe they made it through turn 2.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. That 4 trucks, now they're wrecking.
And now they're going to wreck behind them. Trucks sliding all over. Will the caution come out, though?
No caution yet.
No caution. There's still... And the caution comes out. Now the caution comes out. In front of the field is Parker Kligerman. Parker Kligerman is going to win his first ever Camping World Truck Series race, and it's going to come at Talladega Superspeedway.
Being in the right place when it got down towards the end of the race, Parker Kligerman was, with a lot of help from that 13 truck.
We didn't have any idea that with 10 to go, the right place was going to be 21st position. Now, let's see if they can pull off synchronized pitting. The caution flag doesn't come out. Oh, look at Brendan trying to go up the middle.
There's no room. Here we go. Right as they cross the stripe, we have issues. 77's caught up. Chris Fontaine to the 84. Now the 8 of Max Gresham. The 5 of Tim George Jr. The 93 we saw. Jason White caught up. The 62 of Brendan Gaughan.
There's the 77 of Romain Quiroga.
07 of Chris Cockrum involved in this.
Chris Fontaine always runs so well here.
Pole sitter.
Yeah, Brendan Newberry. Just wasn't quite enough for him. Looked like Brennan decided to go up through the middle, and the hole closed up on him.
And we've watched Brennan this whole race put himself in a position to go up the middle, and he had made it work until then, and there just simply wasn't room to make that move.
Second caution comes out at Daytona.
In front of this field.
Wow, this is intense action. Matt Crafton gets to the bottom. Look how tight things are.
And it's too tight and into the wall. Timothy Peters in the 17. 30 other trucks involved. The 77 of Herman Quiroga.
Caleb Holman in the 75 truck. 07 of Chris Cochran.
Too tight around Talladega.
Wow.
There's Sean Court in the 82 truck. A lot of damage to his Ford.
That's back about where
There's Brendan Newberry in the 24. Destroyed.
That's about where Matt Crafton has spent his day. And then when they see the opportunity to go to the bottom, they just jump. Wow, look at that congestion, Rick.
Yeah, very close call back there about the 17th, 20th position, and around they go. 31 of James Buescher caught up in it, second in points.
Oh, Agnew into the wall on the inside, and Buescher hard again into the wall.
A lot of damage. The 18 of Joey Coulter also involved. A big hit for James Buescher.
Yeah, came into this race really trying to gain some ground, and it looks like he may be out of it here. Tough break for James Buescher. Had certainly one of the very best trucks. There's Joey Coulter's truck with a lot of damage, but James Buescher, Ty Dillon, when they got hooked up, they had two of the very best trucks here.
Here comes that 98 and the 88 tandem in the middle of the track. Johnny Sauter, he won at Daytona earlier this year. Can he do it again? They wreck behind him. They're rolling behind him. Now the 88 spins. Thor Sport is going to win. It's going to be Johnny Sauter that will get the win, but they wreck behind him.
Matt Crafton has not got to the start-finish line yet.
And they're still wrecking. Crafton does slide by the start-finish line. The 32 of Miguel Paludo was upside down. It's on fire now.
Somebody hit Kyle Busch really hard late in that crash. Just as they crossed the start-finish line, the front of his truck is tore off.
Matt Crafton, let's take another look.
That's Jeb in the black truck.
Being pushed by Miguel Paludo. He got pushed sideways into Kyle Busch.
That sends Busch sideways. Dakota Armstrong in the 60 was able to stay clear up high.
Watch Paludo flip over when Kyle gets on the right rear of his truck.
See David Starr go by.
Now
Chris Fontaine going by. Justin Lofton in the 6 truck. There's Clay Greenfield in the 68. John West Townley in the 7 going by on the inside.
I think there might be one more impact for...
Yeah, Kyle Busch did get hit one more time. It was a big one in the Next Era Energy Resources 250. A lot of trucks caught up in this incident. The 35 of Mason Mingus hit a ton on the outside wall.
There's John King. John West Townley got some of that. You see a splitter all bent up on the left side. Happened to just inside the top 10. Did the 92 of Ross Chastain get in the back of Parker Kligerman in the 58?
It appears that's the deal. Parker Kligerman, Phil, had driven up to the outside coming off turn 4 to lead that group that Ross Chastain was in the front of, and it looked like Ross got a little overzealous into one and hit Kligerman. Maybe we can get a better look at it. Hopefully everybody's okay.
Watch that white truck on the outside. You can see right now the 92 is against the tailgate.
Yep.
I think maybe did the 59
under caution for the first time today for the Camping World Truck Series at Talladega. At least 4 or 5 trucks involved. They were battling for a position on the backside of the top 10.
Yeah, and what happens so frequently at these kind of places is we get accidents in the straightaways. You would think it would be easy to drive these trucks down the straightaway. Not the case. There's Ron Hornaday, 2-time winner here. There's Herman Quiroga, top 10 in points. He's going to take a big hit. Mason Mingus, who had a good qualifying effort in that 15 truck.
Wow. Crash. It's the big one. What a mess. There's a dozen trucks torn up in this one.
Man. Look at John West Townley having such a good run running up in the top 10. There's Spencer Gallagher, Cameron Haley in that 13 truck. Chris Fontaine in the 84.
Timothy Peters, his second truck of the day. Johnny Sauter with some damage to that truck. We talked about Peters getting in the back of that lead draft and saying it's time to race.
it may be easier to tell you who's not in this wreck.
But they were running around there single file before we went to commercial break. There's Daniel Hemrick having such a good run. A lot of damage to that 14 Chevrolet.
And Spencer Gallagher had pushed Ty Dillon to the lead, faded to the back. He got collected in that crash.
Todd Peck got a piece of it, window net down, signaling that he is okay. He and Sauter are trying to pull that outside lane back toward the front, but they are still mired.
Oh, got a spinner. Austin Hill, the 82. It looks like he got hit from behind.
Go high, just hang on here.
And they keep crashing Ben Kennedy.
You're good down low.
Joe Nemechek, the 8.
Stay up high here.
Truck also involved.
Austin Hill was running in the 11th spot, and that thing just turned around going into turn 1. I cannot believe that he spun out right in front of Chris Fontaine, and I think Fontaine slipped through. I don't see how.
Right up into Ryan's side, and you don't want to do that this early in the race.
Crafton sits right there, and we've got two together. Jesse Little in the 97 involved, and we got more contact deeper in the field. Townley involved. This 63 is in there with Justin Jennings. Mason Mingus was involved as well, and we've got our third caution and a bunch of torn up race trucks.
Yeah, I think there were some other trucks that got a piece of that as well. See Jesse Little, what a tough break for this young, making his first ever start. There's Mason Mingus' truck. Look at the damage to that Billy Boat truck.
What a shame.
Timothy Peters is watching that 33 truck just bounce all over the place.
54 posted, pass through, penalty, pushing it. Here's the big one down the back straightaway at Talladega.
Matt Crafton in it.
And he just knew it had to happen at some point. It was just too tight. There was too much pushing and shoving, and finally it all just broke loose.
So NASCAR felt Christopher Bell too aggressive in pushing at the front of the field when he was tucked in right behind Brandon Jones.
You know what the shame of that is, though? They went by Brian Keselowski by pushing like that. Brian lost his chance to win the race. NASCAR didn't think that was too much pushing, so they black flag Bell. Nothing you can do at that point. Sauter can't let off. That caused a big crash. Look at Infinger. Oh, there it is.
Infinger around, Cameron Haley around, Ben Kennedy.
They got us.
Huge crash in turn 3 at Daytona with 8 to go.
I didn't see any way they could continue to run like that.
Look at Terrio, tore all to pieces back there. Fast truck.
Ben Kennedy involved, William Byron involved, Suarez, there's Chris Fontaine. Terrio was such a great truck.
What a great job that Ben Kennedy had been doing tonight. Found himself tore up. And look at Cameron Haley. He was the key to that inside line run to the front, and now he's crashed.
There's Tyler Reddick, who won this race a year ago. Not going to happen this time.
He can get a top 10, though, Vince. And that's what these guys are thinking. Let's just minimize the damage best we can and get out there and get a finish.
A lot of damage to that Jacob Toyota. Look at Austin Terrio's truck. So good, so strong this entire race.
There's the 22 of Austin Wayne Self, the young driver from Texas.
Keep it behind you, keep it behind me, keep it behind you. Run to go.
The white flag is out.
They're going to crash.
Sauter with a big run. They're crashing. Christopher Bell upside down. Coming to the checkered flag, but the yellow is out. And Johnny Sauter will win the season opener at Daytona, and Chevrolet will go to victory lane for the first time in the at Daytona in the Truck Series.
That is awesome to see there, guys.
Window net down, and Christopher Bell coming out. A lot of people breathing a sigh of relief right there. Wow, what a ride taken by Christopher Bell. Incredible.
That was scary. That truck was running nearly 190 miles an hour when it started flipping, and fortunately for us and for Christopher Bell, NASCAR's done a great job with the safety of these trucks.
Christopher Bell, believe it or not, walked away from it, climbed out under his own power. Ben Rhodes Rhodes is pushing. Nemechek on the outside. All kind of contact into the wall.
Sorry. No caution. Keep going.
The caution is out. A lot of damage.
Matt Crafton, hard driver's side in the wall.
Got all the damage to Reddick's truck.
That's exactly what I was afraid of, Phil. Aerodynamics. I mean, John Hunter got the jump on him, but Christopher went down in there and got right on his quarter panel.
Yeah, neither one of those guys was going to back off. They knew whoever came off at turn 2 with a lead.
So Abreu's going to come in. You heard the radio, the team telling him you're going to have to do a pass-through.
Big crash, turn 3.
A lot of damage. There's the 19 of Hemrick involved, the 13 of Cameron Haley, Caleb Holman in the 75.
Stewart's freezing.
How about that? Ben Kennedy. We talked about
Look at
Kennedy's
the damage.
need for a good night tonight.
Look at the damage on the 75 truck.
Neither one of them in the chase, but just as hungry for their first win.
Oh, there it goes.
Ben Rhodes collects a bunch of them.
Oh, man.
The big one at Talladega.
It's Hemrick also involved in the bottom in the 19 truck. There's Daniel on the apron of the racetrack.
A big sweeping crash down in turn 1.
We're going to get you back around here.
And it is the big one. The 9 of William Byron driving through the grass. Hemrick, there's the 78 of Fontaine.
I saw.
Look at the damage.
Brandon Brown got swept into that, and there's the 00 of Cole Custer.
Matt Tift, I think, right in front of him.
That's Rhodes over on the left.
Reddick with a lot of damage in the 29 truck.
Major chase implications.
If you want to duck out, say you're about where Timothy Peters is right now. You want to be a part of that closing outside lane?
Oh! Contact and into the wall.
Hang on to it here, man. Hold the brake.
Oh, the 19 of Austin Cindric hard into the wall.
Looked like Chase Briscoe got into the back of the 18 of Noah Gregson.
Wow.
A lot of damage.
We also talked stage racing.
Youth versus experience.
We talked everything that could lead to us seeing the biggest crash fest we've ever seen with these young, inexperienced racers pushing too hard too soon.
What a disappointment, that 18 there of Noah Gregson. There's the 29 of Chase Briscoe and the 98 of Grant Infinger. They weren't involved, it doesn't seem, but the 19 of Austin Cindric, heavy damage to the front.
Forced his way to the middle.
Middle of 3. You're middle of 3. Come on, 13. You got a guy coming to you. Not over. Keep digging.
They're crashing. Rhodes into
Keep
Crafton.
digging. Damn.
Crafton up and over.
And Kaz Gralla looks to me like will win this race.
Huge crash at the end on the final lap. And Kaz Gralla, the youngest driver in the field, the youngest driver to win a pole award in NASCAR's Touring Series history.
We'll have to wait and see NASCAR, but he sure looked like he was the one that emerged with a lead.
The first across the finish line under the checkers and the yellow flag. Stage 2 racing. Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell on the front row. Johnny Sauter going around and some contact.
No caution yet. Caution's out. Caution's out.
Stewart Friesen in the 52 with heavy front end damage.
Johnny was getting a push from behind and it turned him sideways.
For the second week in a row, damage to the right side of the 21 truck. But
Get your spare bond ready. Get your spare bond ready.
I think he might be really lucky. I don't think there's major damage to that 21 truck. On the other hand, Justin Haley's got
Bright orange 13 had led just 3 laps before today. Spent a good amount of time out front, but now it's Grant Infinger, last year's winner, into contact, and Coughlin goes around. Big hit for Coughlin and Fontaine and others involved. And there's John Hunter Nemechek. Looks like he has escaped. But Coughlin did not. Myatt Snyder with some smoke has obviously been involved in it as well. The 29 of Briscoe. Man, look at the damage Fontaine had. Such a good run. Kligerman by a nose over Enfinger as they cross the line in the final lap, and contact and a big crash.
And John Hunter Nemechek sneaks through.
Behind you, big rat.
And the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek escapes, and it's going to be Parker Kligerman. For the second time, a winner at Talladega.
Well, it was fourth when I said that.
Oh, Cody Coughlin got pushed out of line.
Trying to find room to get back up into the track, and around goes.
Is that John Hunter?
And the 16 of Brett Moffitt.
Watch it. Pick your way through there. What's your problem, Cody? Talk to us. The left rear, Phil.
There goes the right rear tire.
Well, the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, the 16 of Brett Moffitt, the 13 there is Myatt Snyder. We saw Stuart Friesen in the 52 involved.
I just didn't like the amount of smoke that was coming from that right rear, Mike.
Me either.
Coming off turn 2, John Hunter Nemechek radioed to his crew.
And it lost all their momentum, and here comes the world. How about this?
Oh! Big contact, Nemechek, Crafton, Rhodes, Friesen. Serious contenders for the win. And that changes everything. Wow.
You said it, serious contenders for the win, Vince. One of those being Stuart Friesen in that 52. Look at all the damage to the left side.
Friesen banging off the wall, trying to get by Seavey, and here comes Enfinger on the bottom. And the caution is out as a big crash on the backstretch.
Oh, that's good stuff.
25 is Dalton Sargent. The 15, J.R. Hefner. Meanwhile, it's Brett Moffitt in the lead with Grant Enfinger in second. And Justin Haley slipped into the third spot, and around again. Caution. A bigger one this time. Timothy Peters involved. Austin Hill in the 02. Jesse Little, the 97. Well, that's a shame. Little was having a good night. They did not get to the line to get the white flag, so we're going to line them up and restart it again.
Or look at the damage on Nemechek's
big hit from John Hunter, who had a good night up until this point.
By myself, this could be big trouble.
Oh, and there goes Fontaine. Contact and around. Crafton involved. Rhodes involved. Parker Kligerman. John Hunter Nemechek. Bo Lamastus. Johnny Sauter back there. Was it? Disaster for Matt Crafton and Ben Rhodes. A couple of championship hopefuls, and look at the debris of Fontaine.
I think this is where it starts. He's up high and goes to the bottom, and Haley was there. Oh.
Watch this 75 truck, Michael. I mean, it gets, he's in the wreck right here, and he comes down the racetrack, and
no brakes, obviously.
Hit again.
Oh. With the 25 of Peters. And Gregson goes around.
And we're wrecked.
And they're wrecking at Talladega.
And Peters was ahead when we saw that caution.
Timothy Peters, a two-time winner at Talladega. And Noah Gregson sits in disappointment.
Well, I think so.
And Timothy Peters will get his third Talladega win. Back at Daytona under caution. You've been watching at home, and you see that's Jordan Anderson, obviously uncomfortable but waving to the crowd. took a big hit. 11 different trucks involved in that incident.
He's going to bypass the stretcher.
And there's Brett Moffitt, the defending series champion, one of those involved. And boy, what a tough night for Moffitt. Was penalized a couple of times tonight. The 51 of Christian Eckes, our pole winner. Johnny Sauter, who has been out front for nearly a dozen laps tonight, heavily involved.
So many of the real good trucks in this race. Let's take a look here.
The two of Creed.
Matt Crafton needs a lot of help here.
Oh, Austin Hill getting into Ben Rhodes.
How about Gustine
coming around the outside? Contact indeed is going to take out Rhodes. And Crafton gets through again somehow, and so many more involved in this incident.
What about Matt Crafton's move? Look at that truck. Look at the damage on those other two trucks right beside. Austin Hill was able to do a great job. Got down on the apron and got through that.
The track record 10th caution of the night, and Sheldon Creed this time is going to be finished for the night.
You were right, Michael. There wasn't 3 or 4 laps to go.
No, there just wasn't any way. These guys know what's the reward is, a victory at Daytona. And they just push and shove so aggressively. There's just no way you can make it when you drive like that.
Got his teammate Harrison Burton right behind him. Contact, and it looked like Jesse Little into the wall and collects several. Parker Kligerman involved. Spencer Boyd in the mix. Austin Wayne Self in the 22.
We talk about it all the time, guys, how the intensity ratchets up. We know how difficult the restarts here are at Atlanta. They just get to pushing and shoving. The further they go, the harder they hit.
There's Chad Finley. Chad had gotten back on the lead lap, was in contention for a good finish.
4 laps remaining, 4 to go at Michigan. Oh, and Ankrum gets a big shove, and it's going to bring out a big caution and a big accident. Gilliland is involved. Sauter involved. Alfredo in the mix as well. The 20 of Spencer Boyd, and this is going to be a big cleanup.
I just talked about 2 of the 3 trucks involved in that big crash. There you saw Alfredo.
Looked like he spun his tires on that restart. Matt Crafton, I'm sure, was trying to help him get going initially. See Natalie Decker, we just talked about her having such a great run.
In this pack. There's Brett Moffitt in the 24.
There it goes.
Oh, and there's a collection into the wall and through the grass on the bottom.
I would be shocked if it weren't Ross Chastain.
And there he is.
Trying to block like we talked about.
Timothy Peters.
And Timothy Peters involved.
Hard contact to the front of Timothy Peters' truck.
I think Stuart Friesen had got the best of Ankrum, Alfredo, and may be in that free pass position.
Brian Doza in the 28. Saw Natalie Decker in the 54.
How about Ross Chastain now in the lead? Eckes battling for second with Infinger.
Oh, another 3 wide again.
More contact, and now the 16 of Austin Hill is involved in that.
Tyler Ankrum as well.
Oh, Hill and Ankrum.
Just try to get it going right here.
Tailgate to tailgate.
Coming outside, just try to get it fired up here.
Moffitt was on pit road at the time. He had come down to continue to address issues with that 24 truck. So the championship contenders having all kind of issues here in this one here this afternoon.
I believe
Matt Crafton already 8 laps down.
Not so sure that truck of Hill's can't continue. It didn't look that bad. This one also, Ankrum able to drive away.
Multiple car crash, including Danica Patrick, among many others, here on the front straightaway. Brian Scott, the 21 of John West Townley. Colin Brown, the 31, is also in this mix of Stanton Barrett. That's what's left of the right front corner of Danica's car.
Yeah, this all developed in front of her. This crash did. She did a good job of avoiding most of it, but then just couldn't avoid all the cars in it.
Also in it is the 61 of Josh Wise.
Once again, just on the inside of Brendan Gaughan.
Look out!
Trouble.
Oh, and upside down is Earnhardt. This is going to be a mess.
Behind us, wave him.
The 33 of Harvick, Joey Logano involved. More cars still spinning in this multiple car crash. Just that quick. Window net is down. Oh man, that car is just destroyed.
Well, it happens fast. Hard to tell exactly what happened right there.
Brendan Gaughan involved in it. And we are going to get a red flag situation. Pace cars pull down pit road here at the Bashas Supermarket 200. It is Kyle Busch again on the high side. As we go back to green. And just what you had talked about in our pre-race, Rusty. A huge 4, 5, 6, 7 car pileup right on the front straightaway. And you said it at the beginning of the broadcast. This happens more times than we care to think about.
It always happens. I mean, you can pretty well count every race. They're going to get excited and they're going to crash about 50 miles an hour, Randy.
I don't know
amazing.
what it is. It's just a pattern at this racetrack. It just looked like Mike Wallace waving at James Busher behind him. Oh, we got trouble.
No, look out. Carl Edwards turns, and we've got multi-cars into the wall. Leffler's involved in this. The 62 have gone. The 21 of Boyer.
I'm just ready to say something. I'm just ready to say something, yo.
Patrick Sheltra involved. The 16 of Colin Brown, the one thing he did not need because he's out of this seat. And we've got a car on fire down in the corner of turn 1, and it is Mike Wallace. He had a great beginning to this race. There's the damage to Stephen Wallace. There's what's left of the 60 of Carl Edwards.
Yeah, for now, he's looking for more. Here he comes on that outside.
You can hear the crowd over the noise. Oh, crash coming down towards first finish.
Behind us.
Kligerman's involved.
Caution's out.
The 16 of Colin Brown is involved.
7 of Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch, Morgan Shepherd, Scott Lagasse.
Morgan Shepherd done a great job all day of running up in the lead pack. See the 7. I don't think Steve Arpin hit anything.
Morgan was running 29th at the time of the crash. And you saw Kyle going a lap down. Now, the damage to the 7 of Arpin. Arpin had been running in the top 15.
Keselowski
got trouble now. Keselowski's got Logano on the high side. Look out, they're going to go around.
McMurray.
Been behind us.
Oh, big crash. Oh, and up into the wall. Look out. The caution is out. The race will finish. And it looks like Brad Keselowski is going to get the race win.
Bring it here. Bring it here.
We will check with NASCAR officials because of where the field would be set when the yellow came out. Unofficially, it looks like Brad Keselowski has taken the win. And tough break for Kenny Wallace there.
Oh, it's good to see that right there.
That is Dennis Setzer. As boy, that car is torn up.
Right here. Here we go.
All right, we're going back to green flag racing this time.
Oh, no.
Look out, crash on the front straightaway. Clint gets collected. Oh, the 98 and the 99 of Trevor Bayne.
There's some hard licks right there.
McCumbee in the 09 also involved.
I'm not sure Clint Boyer didn't spin the tires on that restart.
Either that or could he have missed a gear? I mean, it just did not go like he did on the restart prior. And the damage for Trevor Bayne. Oh, and Casey Kane gets swept up in this mess as well.
There. Man. Now this is a typical Dover crash right here. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Menard. Oh, there's one around. Scott in the 11 car back at turn 6. Oh,
Big
boy.
wreck. Oh,
grab 1, 2, 3, 4,
out.
5, 6, 7, 8 cars piled up at turn number 6.
Colin Brown is involved in the 16 after staying on the lead lap.
This is just what Carl Edwards wanted, though. I mean, this caution flag is going to let him make it.
That's not just Carl. It's all those leaders that.
Jason Radcliffe request. His driver just gave it to him. Oh, trouble on the front. Trouble on the front stretch.
Behind us.
Ricky Stenhouse is involved. Several other cars involved. The 34 of Tony Raines. Mike Wallace involved. And I believe that the white flag was out before the caution came out. So this race will end under this caution.
And what a crazy finish. Wow.
No stick on the outside. Brad thought he had the best car all night. Took the inside line on the restart. This is going to be down to the wire. Oh, they touched. He spun out. Carl gets into Keselowski. Carl Edwards will
Keselowski's okay here. That was a hard hit, guys.
That was ugly.
Wreck behind you. Just
That
slow
was
it down.
ugly.
Slow it down. There's a big wreck here.
Big contact on Keselowski as the other cars racing to the finish came to the line. And Keselowski got spun around hard. And remember, this is a feeling that they didn't have last year. This race was run completely in the daylight hours, and a big-time collision between Brian Keselowski in the 26 and Colin Brown. Mark Green in the 49 also involved, and Brendan Gaughan, who was having a great run after starting 25th, had worked his way up through the field. The 16 car is another one who went to a backup today after a qualifying crash. Colin Brown is going to be done.
Somehow we're making it through so far.
Oh, no, we didn't. Further up. 3, 4. That's Allgaier.
Caution's out. Caution's out.
Oh, my, look at this. Tony Raines, as it just stacks up there.
We got cars stacked on top of cars.
Dude.
See Brendan Gaughan there? That penalty so costly to Harvick, he wouldn't have been back in that mess.
Not sure he got anything. He may have gotten stopped there. He just didn't have anywhere to go. It's not a very wide part of
They finally do complete that tire change, pulling away the fender.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
No.
And then stall the car. Logano's slow out of pit as he stalls the car. Caution on the racetrack.
Mike got a 5-car jam up out on the backside of the racetrack that has blocked the track for a moment. Robbie Gordon's in it.
And he's doing much, much better after that. As for Carl Edwards, well, you can see he's got a chase on his hands. Oh, we got a yellow flag on the track.
Well, we've got a lot of cars getting piled up right on the front straight, and there's no room to go for several of them. Stenhouse is involved in that, the 6, the 10 of Wimmer.
There's literally no way through this.
Jeff Green, the
Shelby
40
Howard,
was in
see
there.
that, guys? He got in the big wreck last time here, and he's in it again. Turned around backwards at the start-finish line. What is it about the straightaways that they keep wrecking in?
Sean Case, the 39. There's Brendan Gaughan.
But I think this all started back. 2-car again, almost found the 99.
Well, there's some sense of urgency to get with your teammates.
Oh, look out! Here we go.
Man.
Right into the wall, McMurray. Kyle Busch is involved. The 66 and the 99 of Waltrip goes around. Oh, and another late hit right there with McMurray, unable to get the car stopped. Jamie's okay, but obviously the car is not.
Your fault. We're done here, guys.
A lot of good cars torn up here. Man, it'll be interesting here the next few laps.
3 wide,
Already.
Look out, contact the 88. He's around, hits the wall once. Another car spinning down the backstretch. That's Brian Scott, Ryan Truex, Brad Keselowski. He's involved. There's Almirola again into the wall. So quickly, the 5th caution comes out, and
I have a 33 clip, too.
boy, the 88 had a pretty good race car, but it's torn up now.
We just had such a mix of different cars that were.
Now here comes Carl back on the low side. Oh, Carl flips a little.
Come on, he's sideways.
Oh, now he gets Joey's into the bar, and the car's upside down. On the side is Clint.
Yellow's out. Yellow is out. Yellow is out.
Wallace gets into it. The 14 of Bliss gets into it. Red flag immediately.
Stop on the back. They want you to stop on the back.
They are stopping everyone on the back stretch.
He got loose or something. I just in the throttle. He got loose. I touched him, guys.
There's what's left of Keselowski's car. Window net down. He's okay. There's Joey with his net down. Clint Boyer is out. Boy, Boyer went up on his side. For a second, I thought he was going to go all the way over. And there is Stephen Wallace as he seems to be okay. It looks like Joey Logano, who's been so good at pushing, may end up winning. Oh, crash in the back. At the stripe. The win goes to Logano, and look at the carnage behind. We have got one car on fire. There's what's left of McMurray.
Yeah, that was a big, hard crash. See parts laying everywhere. Mike Wallace got the winning it down.
2 races in a row for him to get crashed on the very last lap.
Restrict
Restrictor
same
plate.
thing.
4 to go.
goes Wallace around as he is hit with the 11. More contact as the 11 gets tagged by the 88. And we have carnage in turn number 2.
It's not like we couldn't see this coming. I mean, the drivers are getting more and more aggressive.
That's Andrew Ranger. He had just gotten back on the lead lap. There's what's left of Mike Wallace's car. Wallace was running 14th on the restart. They slid back. Look at this, 3 wide coming up into turn 3. And look what happens. We have contact in turn 3 as well. The 11 of Brian Scott, the 7 of Danica Patrick. The 82 is also involved in that. That is Reed Sorensen. A logjam with
left will really get loose there. Down in 1-2. Elliott's able to make that pass 2 at a time. Easy! No!
Oh, no!
What are you doing?
Left foot gets into him.
Oh, that's terrible.
And Almirola gets contact as well, and the caution is out. Clements gets involved.
Morgan Shepherd.
Here, look,
And the championship for Elliott Sadler might just be in a heap right now, as there is a red caution flag, and we may get a red flag here, we're being told.
That just started with Jason Leffler just dumping Elliott Sadler getting into 3. Man, that's just too bad for a lot of people.
It was a battle for 10th.
Trouble off turn 4. A dozen cars involved. Caution is out. That's Reed Sorensen. Casey Roderick in the 08. Mike Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Truex, and more.
It's a chain reaction that started way up front. So there's Denny Hamlin.
With pack racing, the history at Daytona has been the closer you get to the finish. Oh, look out! Trouble. Contact! Hornish! Bumped by Reagan around in turn 4. Michael Annette slams the inside wall.
They were lined up 3 wide. Looked like 5 or 6 deep there. I don't know how they made it as far as they did. Nemechek's destroyed too. You see David Reagan, his car's destroyed. Hornish got some damage.
Here we are, be ready.
Here comes Stewart in the 33 as Logano goes to the point. 3 wide in turn 4. A squeeze to the outside wall. Trouble in the corner. Hard, vicious crash. Who gets through to win the race? Caution flag has just been called. The race leader is James Busher in the 30 car. Unbelievable. A heavy crash in the final corner of the race. Kyle Busch's car. Brad Keselowski and his ability to push.
Well, he's getting a nice push from him.
Oh, trouble. Harvick's around.
Oh, got spun on the backstretch by the 43.
How many is it going to collect?
Hold the brake.
Oh, what a vicious crash. Eric McClure.
Get it around here.
See new names among the leaders, and I gotta say that this type of racing, 3 wide, which is going to end up, here we go, the big one, and we anticipated it. 3 wide wasn't going to last.
Nicole, I kept telling you.
You did. You were right. We just waited a little bit longer.
Look at the carnage. The accident happening right at the front of that big snarling pack. 3 wide, maybe 4 wide, gone wrong in turn 2.
Yeah, I think this might have come as the leaders were trying to make a swap there.
Clint Boyer, James Busher, Mike Wallace. There's so much. Checkered flag is in the air. Who's going to win it? Oh, trouble. Austin Dillon spins. Kurt Busch wins.
Oh, a hard hit. Oh, another hard hit. Dillon saying he was fine.
There's your winner.
Beat you in victory lane, baby. Wait for me, boys. Great job, Kurt. Well, great job, Nick and crew.
Stewart, spotter, Bob Jeffrey. When everything around him is chaos. Oh, there it is. Contact. Austin Dillon turned into the middle of the pack.
Hold her straight. Hold her straight. Keep rolling if you can. Keep rolling here. Keep rolling.
The big wreck with 5 laps to go. Final corner at Daytona. Who's going to get here first? Regan Smith 7, Keselowski 22, Stewart 33, and contact! Smith turned around. Tommy Stewart is going to win this race. And a terrible crash coming to the finish.
This is a big wreck.
Kyle Larson's car with the front end severely torn off. He's bailing out of the car. Part of that car did pierce the catch fencing shy of the start-finish line. You see some of the others involved.
Frequency of cautions at points in the race. This is one of those times.
There it is, turn 3. Brian Scott, Johanna Long, Trevor Bayne, and more. Ty Dillon.
Are we jumped? Torn up pretty good, Kelly.
You see Sam Hornish on the outside getting a push from Trevor Bayne. It's like Sam tried to thread the needle. Not quite enough room over the front bumper of Eric McClure. And look what happened.
And it's tough to tell from that angle exactly who moved which direction, but man, 40 car made it through there. Yeah, we're going to get a good look here. So
Sam trying to thread the needle and just not enough room.
He kind of got forced down there a little bit by the 70 car, you know.
Here comes Regan Smith to the outside. Logano moves to try and pick him up. Smith to the bottom. Vickers turned around. Who gets to the checkered flag? Here they come to the stripe while they crash behind him. Unbelievable. Who won? Casey Kane, I think, is the winner. All kinds of cars crashing behind them to the finish line. I believe the 5 got there by just a couple of inches, maybe the width of that front splitter.
Guys, I've never seen anything like that. I hope everybody's all right. That's the most spectacular finish I've seen ever.
You haven't called the finish yet.
20 Vickers, 11
against their Ford.
No trouble. Vickers around.
Yeah, this one's got damage now.
Bowman, Pastrana, Pappas,
Hardlick,
and more.
Pastrana's car is destroyed.
All right, guys, we're done.
All that damage came from
What we
Max
got here?
Pappas.
Somebody talk to me. What's wrong?
For the lead. 3 car. Oh, trouble. Trouble, turn 4. Hard crash. Jeffrey Earnhardt, 77.
Everybody behind you crashed.
24, Jason White. Travis Pastrana in the 60. And Robert Richardson in the 23.
I'm good. I'm good.
Make it to the middle and right, and there's a bump right there, Alan.
Contact and trouble again in turns 3 and 4. Brian Scott racing for the lead moments ago, and others involved.
All 3 Richard Childress owned cars together in that wreck right then.
Trevor Bayne.
It looked like Ty Dillon. I couldn't tell how much damage he got.
Check it out. I'm coming your way.
It looks like Trevor, just like you said, Andy, got aggressive.
Maybe Joe Nemechek, I haven't seen if he came out or not. But these are guys that are trying to make the race. Oh, we got trouble.
I think it's raining. It's raining over there.
Yes,
It is raining on the back straightaway.
All over the racetrack.
What happened here?
Mike Bliss, one of those that broke free. You see the 97 of Joe Nemechek, and heavy damage.
That's Benny Gordon, the 91 car.
to Benny Gordon at 91 machine.
Just all of a sudden, it was
Richardson Jr.
Look at the racetrack.
Look at a cloudburst, guys.
It's not even the whole backstretch. It's just halfway down the backstretch.
And there's the 55 of Ross Chastain.
Wow.
Just got that car this week. This guy, he's got trouble. He's got fire at the back of that car.
Did he? Cut it off and coast. Cut it off.
Oh, trouble back in the pack and into the wall. J.J. Yaley in the 28 gets turned around in the accordion. Tanner Berryhill, trouble on the front straightaway. Cars into the wall. Ty Dillon's turned around and hits hard.
Right behind you. Going to be a lot of debris.
There were 4 wide coming through the tri-oval, trying to come through the tri-oval, obviously not that wide.
23's Carlos Contreras. There's Ty Dillon's car all torn up. Third place driver in the championship. Cale Conley again.
You all right?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Here we are.
Keep an eye on the flagman as well.
They're not going to make it. Oh, crash!
And the red and black flag was out. None of them made it back. And on top of that, the big one right here in the tri-oval.
Holy cow.
Remember, Landon Castle took off first. He's in it. Hard contact. There's Daniel Suarez. Blake Cook, the 8 car. Dale Jr. is able to drive through it.
In the season opener, like I said, in 3 hours and 20 minutes. And here's Kyle Busch, who says, there's 12 more. I really don't have to worry about.
That's tongue-in-cheek. I don't think he's clapping for that. You see that Carlos Contreras, that black car in the middle of the racetrack right there was slow. And see Kyle Larson's
cars, you can get bumper to bumper like that, the faster that line's going to go. So
prior to today, the only place where big trouble. That's the rookie Suarez up and over Regan Smith, the big one at Daytona in the tri-oval.
42 turned us right there. All right, just stop, Daniel.
Scott Lagasse, window net is down, good for him. Suarez able to drive his Toyota to the garage.
Second car in just a few hours for that young.
And the guys have a chance to gain some momentum on them as this pack catches them.
They can't do this for 10 laps.
Eric Jones around, back across the field. The big one, part 2 at Daytona.
Yeah, they can't do this.
Stay high. Nice straight. Did anybody hit you there, Kel?
A horrific crash for Kyle Busch, who slid through the infield grass and went head on into the inside wall. And he is climbing from that car, and that is an unbelievable sight. Wow.
I mean, he hit that wall head on. It looked like he never even slowed down.
Signal to the drivers behind them that they're coming. Here we go.
There it goes. Daniel Suarez, Joey Gase, Ryan Reed, John West Townley, all involved as the leaders started to come down pit road. Brendan Gaughan was sideways on the pit lane. Oh, my goodness.
So unfortunate. These guys are having such a tough time getting to pit road today.
Ty Dillon, one of those that had issues.
The first time they came, Jeff, they were single file. That time being side by side in 2 rows. Someone just made a mistake coming to pit road.
Yeah, it's so frustrating for me.
Right here.
Up here.
That's Tab Boyd, the spotter for Joey Logano. Larry, what do you see here with 16 laps to go?
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Darrell Wallace Jr. around. Chad Boat into the wall. Ty Dillon, the championship leader, is in it.
Poor Ty Dillon, he just can't stay out of trouble today.
But he keeps that thing headed in the right direction.
Casey Kane involved.
Ooh, all line for Casey Kane. Looks like.
Blake Cook got a piece of the action.
Chad Boat had pushed up into that top 10 as well.
Stripe. 10 laps of racing to go. And around goes the pack in the middle. Darrell Wallace Jr. gets caught up. The big one happens just as they go through the tri-oval. Back up into the wall hard, Brendan Poole. Eric Almirola caught up in this in the 98. The caution comes out.
Point it here, guys.
Chris Buschert, the point leader.
Back up here today.
Caught up in this incident. Blake Cook in the 8th, involved. There's Brendan Poole.
Good to see that window net coming down. He had a hard hit, head-on impact. There was a big hit. Looking, he's going to have to go right, go left. Whatever lines build momentum, he's got to slow it down by trying to get in front of him.
And now up against the wall. He gets into the wall. Brian Scott trying to block into the wall. And he goes. The caution comes out again. Brian Scott doing what you said, trying to slow the momentum down. Did it too late. Got hooked up. And into the wall he went. David Starr also involved in the 44. There's the damage to the 2. Such a dominant performance tonight. Led 84 laps.
Trying to roll back from pit road. We're tore up pretty good right side. Tore out of hell.
Forward start out. Poleman gets out there, but look at Brian Scott in the 2.
Already have trouble down in turn 1. 3, 4, 5 cars.
Oh boy. David Starr negotiates his way through pretty effectively there.
It's really tough from the driver's seat, especially on the start here. Dale, you know this, that you go down in turn 1, it's hard to pick a braking spot, so we'll see what happens.
Benny Gordon here in the 66.
Right to the bottom. This is what he has to do.
Oh. Allgaier sideways off the corner. Can he save it? Contact with Jones. Second caution of the day. Wow.
What just happened?
I think Poole tried to shoot down in the corner on those older tires and made contact.
Three of our 4 drivers involved in the dash for cash.
From now, Rick, so they're going to jockey very aggressively for position before the competition yellow.
Elliott's out.
Oh, the 6th of Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to go around. He catches the 48. The big one happens in front. 2 of Austin Dillon is collected. 3 of Ty Dillon gets through.
Definitely left front damage.
Brendan Poole involved in the 48. You see the 19 parts. Daniel Suarez, a win already this season. Austin Dillon, last year's winner in the Xfinity Series race on this 4th of July weekend.
This is everybody's fear at Daytona and Talladega, getting in a wreck. You didn't start it. You had nothing to do with it, but you get torn up. It is what makes Daytona so frustrating for drivers. It's so much fun to race here, so much energy, compelling to win, but it is so frustrating to get caught up in somebody else's wreck.
Justin Allgaier giving a shove to Eric Almirola, and into the wall goes David. David Reagan slamming into the wall.
Behind you, no caution yet. Outside.
Darrell Wallace Jr. quick across the inside wall. The caution has not come out. The race is still on. Justin Allgaier on the high side. Eric Almirola on the bottom of the racetrack. Coming at it, turn 4. And the caution will come out. Now we'll have to go back to video to find out who was in the lead when the caution light came out.
What NASCAR does.
Was in line when they came to the start-finish line.
See Brendan Gaughan, the black and yellow car, missed the top of the S's.
Oh, the round goes. Big accident. The 14 involved. Looks like Kyle Busch might have been at the front end of that. Tommy Dreese in the 14.
And this is so fast and so narrow, Rick. This is what happens. There's just no room. You see big damage on the 18 of Kyle Busch. He's going to go behind the wall. He's had enough. His day's done. The 11.
Elliott, he decided he needed to be on the bottom. That's a Chevrolet teammate. I mean, not a company teammate.
Oh, we got trouble. Tyler Reddick in the 42. That's Ryan Reed. Garrett Smithley through the grass. Spencer Gallagher gets a piece of it.
Oh, and they're still wrecking. William Byron. Kevin, you said it. Talk about mistakes on pit road, and look where that put Byron.
Yeah, you have to do everything you can to not make the little mistakes to try to avoid all this, because you never know when it's going to happen, and you're safer towards the front.
There's Spencer Gallagher with some serious damage.
Jeremy Clements. Saw at least 2 rookies involved in that. Cole Custer, Spencer Gallagher, both got damage. Now keep in mind, by NASCAR's new rules, if you can't drive your car back to pit road, you go to the garage. The 5-minute clock have met minimum speed, so their 5-minute clock is gone. Good news for them, and what a hard hit. Brandon Jones nose first into the outside wall.
Oh, man. That's a shame. Look at the cars. Brad Keselowski sneaks through again. Ryan Sieg's going to make it. But Brandon Jones, Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace. Look at Allgaier's car.
I'm going to tell you what, guys. That was a hard hit. Head on.
Wicked.
Couple hard hits.
Darrell Wallace Jr. sitting up against the wall.
Back bumper of that 88. And as soon as he gets there, it'll almost become dead air. And
oh, there it is. The best car we thought all day long in a bump drafting mistake just went into the wall.
Number of big cars taken out in what is our 3rd big crash of the afternoon. And among them, the Dominator, Elliott Sadler, who had led 40 laps and swept the first 2 stages of this race.
I'm telling you, Michael, I think what is happening here is these cars are going down the straightaway. They're high. They're higher than they used to be because they don't have all that downforce pushing on the back of the car.
Early contact, made a pit stop at lap 9, dropped back to 30th, drove to 14th, now he's 28th, and here we go. Trouble on the track. 5 laps to go, stage 1, and the big one heading to turn 3 at Talladega. '21 of Daniel Hemrick. 24 of Scott Lagasse. Saw the 48 of Brennan Poole. A lot of damaged race cars.
Well, we've seen it. You can only dodge that bullet so many times. There's been a number of cars that have just been real.
1 lap to go. Stage 2.
Here comes the 3. There's 3 wide behind him. Back to the bottom here.
There goes Ryan Reed.
They're wrecking back there. Back to the bottom.
Martinois involved. Oh! Chris Cockrum, Cole Custer. Fourth caution of the day. And it comes out as we cross the start-finish line with 1 lap to go in stage number 2, and it's been his story all year. Cole Custer, wrong place, wrong time, damage, and likely done.
Byron back out in front.
William Byron with a great job of that side draft to slow the 16 down.
Hard into the wall goes to 33. He collects the 5 of Michael Annett. Caution comes out. Numerous cars get caught up in this one. Brandon Jones in the 33, Michael Annett in the 5, the 2 of Ben Kennedy, the 40 of Timmy Hill. Cole Custer with a lot of damage to the 00.
It just felt inevitable. There was just so much pushing, so much banging, no one doing anything wrong. They're fighting for their race team, their fans, their sponsor, but you can only get away with it for so long, and finally the pushes and the runs just became too much.
Decided, I'm going to go for this win as well as they come to the overtime line. Owen wrecking behind them. The field, did they get to the overtime line before the caution came out? That will be the question.
Don't let them get to you.
William Byron was out front. The question is, did they get across the overtime line before the caution came out? We're hearing from NASCAR that they did cross. William Byron crossed the overtime line before the caution came out. William Byron is going to win this race, back-to-back wins.
Sam had to make the corner and slow that 22 car down. Daniel Hemrick almost got into the back of him. And behind, big trouble. A huge wreck going out of turn number 1. That has been a trouble spot all afternoon.
My goodness.
Regan Smith is involved in the green car on the left. Justin Allgaier, who just came off a pit road with fresh tires, he is involved as well.
Caution still hasn't come out yet. I can't imagine why. But you can see the battle for the lead right here.
Look at Allgaier getting drop kicked. Oh no, there they go. Oh, spinner. Into the wall, Almirola. Larson out of shape. So is Chase Elliott. And the caution is out again.
Wow, we made it so far, Michael, but we just couldn't keep this up. Oh, and they're still hitting.
When we got the green flag, there were 32 cars on the lead lap. You knew there was a potential of this, and now we'll have a second overtime restart here at Daytona.
And Daniel Suarez comes out the survivor. Ryan Reed second right now. That's huge. Ryan Reed's going to go for 3 wins here at Daytona, and he's in a great spot to do it.
Look at the drivers up front, and this is all unofficial as things reset, but Suarez, Ryan Reed, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Truex, and Spencer Gallagher. Right now, that's what timing and scoring is showing as our...
I don't know if that really has much to do with it, Bubba.
I'm just trying to find any excuse.
But they're wrecking down the back straightaway here.
Top, ready. One wrecker behind you. Caution out. One inside here.
Oh, and you see the 11. There you see the pit penalty got him in the back there and got him in this crash.
A couple of big hits right there, too. You see the 60, the 11.
That 60 was having trouble with a loose race car. We'll have to watch the replay here, but he had a loose car on the first stage for sure.
And 60, that's Ty Majeski. I think that's his second start, I believe, in the Xfinity series. And
you guys, you see here, you hate that, but we've all experienced it. You make that mistake.
1/1000th of a second.
Elliott Sadler, big run right there. You saw what he did. Oh,
around goes the 60. Austin Cindric wrecking in front of the crowd. Daniel Hemrick's caught up. Tyler Reddick, Cindric, barrel rolls.
See when you're done, Tomlin.
Lands back on his wheels.
Okay, Matt Tiff trying to make a lot happen.
Joey Gase in the 35, sitting right up against the 60 now. Safety crews will get out to the attention of the 60, the 35. See Tyler Reddick, a lot of damage to that race car.
Trouble with the handling of the car. The 16 was in the back of him. Now there's no one with Elliott Sadler.
We got a crash. We got a crash and travel here.
And behind them, they're wrecking. Ryan Reed involved. Ryan Sieg as well in the 39. And so the caution will come out again. The 00, Cole Custer.
We said it. It's just you start doing things you wouldn't normally do. And if you don't, you can't win. If you don't get aggressive and do things, block, side draft. Didn't need a pusher. He just accelerated and drove away from him. Oh,
hard into the wall already. The 7 and the 20. Two of the main contenders for the championship.
And Cole Custer, Cindric.
Allgaier got loose, got into the back of the 20. Allgaier into the wall. The 20 also major damage. Didn't even get through turn 2. You see Cole Custer, the focus on his eyes as he's trying to get back to pit road. Austin Cindric, so much damage to the 22. There's the damage to the 20 of Christopher Bell. The big one happens at Daytona. It was about mid-pack. Cars now sliding to a stop. David Starr is involved. Looks as though the 93. So Scott Lagasse Jr. I saw the 8 of Sheldon Creed right there. The 15 also.
Reddick's got control of the pace. Haley made a big move.
Didn't take long, and around goes the 1, and that into the wall hard. That's going to collect multiple cars behind him. Timmy Hill in the 66. Cole Custer in the 00. Numerous cars. There's Cole Custer. Michael Annett in the 1.
Annett had a fast car. Timmy Hill having a great night. It's coming to an end.
And look at all the cars stuck in the grass right now.
Several of these cars are in their second wreck for the night.
Gray Galding in the 08.
Can you get it fired up? More spots if these guys keep rolling.
Chad Fincham in the 42 out of his car.
There you go. Harv's going to get a good bump from the 9.
Oh, 9.
Yeah, well outside. Come on now.
Oh, there goes Biffle.
There you go.
All right. Too much
Caution's
of a
out.
Caution's out. So the race is over. Wherever they were at the time of caution.
Race is over, and they're all wrecking. This looks like Days of Thunder all over again.
And Kevin Harvick will become the bottom. No out of bounds here at Atlanta. You can go down below the yellow line.
That was.
McMurray and Boyer get together. Kurt Busch is in it.
Here we
go.
Another green-white checker.
Mark Martin in the fence.
If we got anybody left.
Caution before the white flag. And you're right, Darrell. If anybody's able to get going, we'll do it again.
Do that to me one more time. Once is never enough. When you're on probation.
Whoa, Greg Biffle, Mark Martin in the 5 car. Mark got in the outside wall hard.
They got hung. Oh, no. More.
Here we go. Montoya piles in.
47 car.
Edwards is in it. Keselowski misses it. And what did Harvick just do?
Oh, he tried to shoot the gap, and he got clipped.
And Ambrose gets the worst of it.
Poor old Marcos. He had just gotten his steer. I think the 24 is going to get boxed right here as they try to go 3 wide.
4 wide. Stewart Gordon hard into the wall. There's Edwards. Allmendinger.
Oh, no. What mess.
Gordon and Stewart, and then cars trying to sweep by on the outside. Menard, Montoya, McMurray, Harvick, or rather Boyer, all get caught up in it.
What a wadded up mess.
The big one in Texas takes the pole sitter and coming for the lead. Labonte trying to become
trouble.
Sam Hornish in the 77.
He got into
and Elliott Sadler was involved. Menard, Stremme, and Kenseth.
Michael's going out there. He got damaged too as he went by.
The 36, the Tommy Baldwin car of Johnny Sauter, all involved in the tri-oval.
Darrell, you talked about the tri-oval, most treacherous.
Who's going to go where?
If the leader takes the white flag under green, the next flag will end the race. Oh, around goes Newman. Newman up into Logano. 5 cars into the wall. 7. Caution.
Caution is out. The race is not complete. Not complete.
Had to get to the white flag to be complete.
What did we say 30 laps ago? You said, Darrell, not sure if you want to be around Ryan Newman. His luck here is not very good.
And no disrespect to him as a driver.
Not at all.
He is just snake bit on these restrictor plate tracks.
Boy, Joey Logano in the 20 took a look at the inside.
Mark Martin around. Martin gets hit and turned. Stewart tags him. Spins up to the wall. Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, Jamie McMurray, and more.
I think 3 of the 4 Hendrick cars were involved there.
Ooh, I got tore up.
Yes.
Is Kyle leaving the car?
He had been cutting it. Big. Big.
Casey Kane gets turned around. Greg Biffle involved. Mark Martin is there. No caution has come out. They're going to let him race back as Gordon piles in, and now the caution.
6. You knew that was going to be big when you saw the 9 coming back across the racetrack.
Denny Hamlin came here as a rookie in 2000 at lap 66.
Wow.
Ooh, a lot of wheel spin back there on that. Oh, we got trouble. They're stacking up back there.
4 cars involved. Paul Menard, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr., Max Pappas among those.
And that was
Smith
all
got a piece of it.
That was all due to that wheel spin. Those guys, when they got on the gas, there was a bunch of guys that got loose. Their rear tires broke loose, and it stacked them up behind.
Yeah, that is
now if they wanted to. Oh, I'm telling you. Oh, hang on, Jeff Burton.
Burton up into Hornish.
He's going to come back up again.
Now the big one.
There it is.
7, 8, 9 cars involved, many which were running inside the top 10.
And that's the whole field, isn't it?
That's the whole field.
And look at that. Nowhere to go.
And these guys were trying to avoid the 2 coming back up on the racetrack, and the first group that saw them check up, and everybody runs in behind them. That is massive right there. That's incredible. I don't think I've seen a wreck like that at Daytona.
That's a long time.
It's a fast car. He and his teammate, Burton. The mayor.
Trouble. Junior's in the wall. Montoya.
Joey Logano.
Logano gets hit. Edwards in the infield, and more.
I just saw that coming, Mike. It was a much wilder start than what even the first start was. I think these guys got a little too confident.
Closer together than most people park.
Yeah, 200 miles an hour with somebody pushing.
Trouble, turn 3.
Big wreck.
Brian Kozlowski, David Rudeman, Michael Waltrip, Matt Kenseth,
Big
and
wreck.
half the field.
I see about 3 of the Hendrick cars there that's involved.
Mark Martin is there. I see him. There's a Biffle. Jimmy Johnson's laying over there. There's a 24 car. Looks pretty bad.
Ryan Vickers limping around. And Mark Martin is part of it. Greg Biffle got a piece of it. Joe Nemechek's right front all torn up. Around goes Vickers.
Oh no, another one.
Low. Watch me, both sides. Come on.
Oh, this is wiping out half the field.
This is a big one on the backstretch at Phoenix.
Look at that.
Ryan Vickers got sideways and then was perpendicular to the field. There's his silver car up against the wall. Around goes the 29 of Harvick. He saves it.
It's all behind
loses
him.
it.
All
and they all pile up behind him. Trevor Bayne and Montoya, and a big crash as Boyer slams into a stop Jamie McMurray.
That all started when Casey Kane in the 4 got loose off 2 and just log jammed them up.
Yep. And trying to stay
Trouble,
out.
turn 3, Mike. Sorry. Cars around everywhere.
3, 4 against the wall and sliding down to the inside. Reagan's in it. Casey Kane, Marcus Ambrose, Trevor Bayne, and Brad Keselowski. Casey Kane aflame. And not going to get back to pit road with that one, perhaps. Well, looks like he'll make it. At least get to a fire extinguisher. Kyle Busch is a rocket. Nobody is running the outside.
Oh, there they go. There
Gordon
they go.
Slammed. Menard. Mark Martin. It's a crash fest in the backstretch.
They couldn't keep doing that, Mike. They just couldn't.
There you go.
Heavy left front damage on Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, that's pretty killed on the left side right there.
The 39, jump back down there.
Takes a little time for him to get wound
here we
up.
go. Martin got turned by Joey Logano on that one. Look at him back there.
Several cars involved, and it all got started when Logano got Mark Martin.
Truex is in it. Mark Martin's in it. See the Stewart's in it. 33.
Sorry, guys.
Like Castle's in.
One back there for your light tag.
That's him. They're wrecking behind him. David Reagan.
Behind the race leader.
David Reagan.
No caution yet. David Reagan coming
Still
back
wrecking.
to the start-finish
They're
line.
wrecking again. Everywhere now. They're wrecking again.
Reagan with sweet redemption gets the victory at Daytona.
2 separate wrecks on the last lap.
Great job. Thank you a lot, Matt.
Oh, man, these guys are flying by Newman.
He was a sitting duck.
No kidding. That's the scariest part of it being in a wreck like this, is sitting in the race.
Racing for 4th and 5th. A few years back when trouble there, Boyer spinning around in turn 4. And trouble behind him. About a half a dozen cars going to pile up in the aftermath.
88 car's got a little damage in the front. Quite a bit, actually.
Yes, sir.
And 18, a little more complicated, guys.
I think one of the things working against.
Oh, no, trouble. Allmendinger turned around. Kyle Busch makes contact. More cars involved. Harvick is in it, one of the championship drivers.
Lock it down there, AJ. Get it rolling here if you can.
McMurray involved. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, second in the championship.
The reigning Sprint Cup champion. First driver in 6 years not named Johnson.
Whoa, there he goes.
Oh, boy.
There we go.
5 cars are in it.
Maybe more. Not
heavy damage to both Penske cars, to Tony Stewart.
Start overheating a lot quicker with the rule package that we have right now.
And they don't just start.
Trouble, turn 2.
No.
5, 6 cars in it. And more. The dreaded consequence of pack racing is the big one.
Yep.
try to close in on the front 10 with 21 left. Trouble turn 2.
Bill Jr. is there. I see him. See a 29 car.
Kenseth in the
17.
Truex is in it.
That's a bunch of torn up cars right there.
Logano.
Look at that. Jeff's going to move him up out of the groove and get by him.
Whoa! Busch is around. Can he save it this time?
Oh, there you go.
He does. He saves it. But there's a
Jeff Gordon's upside down. Jeff Gordon's upside down.
And Kurt Busch's car is destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Teammate Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards, 3 Fords. Trouble already. The wall. Slams to the outside. It's 5-time champion Jimmy Johnson. He collects Danica Patrick and the 34 of David Reagan.
Trevor Bayne, the 21 car, a winner from last year. You see him involved?
Kurt Busch is involved.
I'm a little worried about Jimmy. He took a hard lick right in the door, and there's the
13 laps to go.
Oh, trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble.
Mid-pack. Sliding and spinning into the infield, McMurray. And sliding up the racetrack, one car going to coast to the bottom. That's Eric Almirola. Regan Smith was in it, and Casey Kane, the left side of his car. Newman and 14 Tony Stewart.
And there's Tony Stewart's teammate Ryan Newman. Oh, Tony's going around. Another wreck to the tri-oval.
Kyle Busch, hard slide through the grass, no contact. At least half a dozen cars involved in this one. Dave Blaney drives away. That's Kyle Busch. Caution flag number 10. Caution is out. Big pile up in turn number 1. Casey Kane in the 5, racing Regan Smith hard in the 78. And Kane is out of his car, and it's junk. There's Regan Smith in the 78, Brad Keselowski in the deuce, and down on the inside is Casey Kane.
You know, they're running at such a fast pace. I mean, we're running 184 miles an hour.
Big crash, turn 3.
Behind you.
Tommy Baldwin gets piled up.
Yellow.
With the 42 of Montoya.
I think the 24's in there too.
Landon Castle, Martin Truex, Carl Edwards are all involved as one car slowed in the top lane. 4 laps to go.
Danny Hamlin.
Oh, now another problem.
Hamlin got into Allmendinger, who gets away, but behind them it's calamity.
Outside, Sam.
Good grief.
That's what I say. Good grief.
Keselowski and Busch.
Whoa, baby.
Big pile up back straight away.
Oh my gosh.
Looks like 10 cars in it.
There's Tony Stewart.
One Montoya, the 42.
There's so much carnage, I can't tell who all is in it.
Both the BK cars. There's Landon Castle.
There's
You
Scott
just saw
Speed
Travis
and,
Quapple, Scott Speed, the 79.
Smokes car.
Get a little further on this run right here. Even though we're within the fuel window, I think
we got trouble, Larry. They're coming to the tri-oval. A number of cars involved. Still spinning. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon on the grass, Regan Smith, Michael Waltrip back up through the groove, and there's Bill Elliott as well.
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon and those guys were up in the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. So this thing, obviously, it may have started back a little bit, but it carried its way all the way to the front.
Jimmy Johnson completed 1 lap.
It's going to be over. That was a good move by Tony.
Oh, wow, who was that? Denny Hamlin out of shape. Here's the big one. A number of drivers involved as they come down toward turn 1.
Hold your brake.
Oh, wow, that was a ton.
This is big.
Man, was that Ambrose? Somebody hit a ton up there.
That was big. Biffle got hit a little bit and got sent back across the racetrack into the 11 car, I think is what we'll see.
Trevor Bayne, one of the drivers involved.
And the 2nd wreck of the night for him.
Windows are going to be. They're stacking up. They're stacking up.
Through turns 3 and 4
here we go.
For the final time. Big crash behind the race leader, Tony Stewart. That's going to allow Smoke to pull away. What's going to happen behind him? Can Burton get there? No, he can't. Tony Stewart wins it at Daytona.
We'll take that.
Great finish.
From 42nd to the win.
Great move by Jeff Burton right there. I tell you,
That
Jeff,
was a
great race by
save.
Jeff Burton. I'm telling you, incredible.
Casey Mears. Kenseth with Harvick behind him. Oh, there's contact.
Get out of you now.
Stewart into the middle of the pack and over.
Fortune's out.
And a huge wreck to end this race. Matt Kenseth is going to get to the finish line first. Is everybody okay? And one of the championship drivers got through. Which ones didn't? Harvick and Richard Childress Racing comes to a close at Phoenix. He slides to the finish line while they crash behind him. Keselowski threads the needle as cars crash to the checkered flag.
I don't understand why they didn't throw the caution there. The 10 car was losing a lot of fluid.
Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman.
Greg Biffle has climbed back in his race car. He's going to go back out in the draft. Now, I spoke to his crew chief, Matt Pusha, and I said, what did you fix?
Whoa,
he says, well,
trouble on the back.
Trouble on the back once again. The
All
9
the
of Ambrose goes around, as does the 1. Jamie McMurray, our reigning champion. Brad Keselowski torn up. Regan Smith in the 51.
Both the
Kasey
Penske
Kahne's
cars.
involved.
24, we're done.
And Darrell, I don't know who it was, but somebody changed.
You heard Kyle Busch talk about closing rate. That's exactly what Bill Levin's
Stewart gets tagged and holds on. Behind him, they're going to pile up. Hamlin, Johnson, Busch, Martin, Gordon.
And Tony Stewart cut down in front of Matt Kenseth.
I guess we're going.
Got a little free when it was up top.
Johnson first, Kenseth second with a push from Gordon. Oh, Kane! Kane gets around, slides across the track. Dillon misses him. More carnage down toward turn number 1. Montoya, Harvick.
A real low apron.
All with damage as the caution comes out. Well, Keelan Harvick is not Dad's good luck charm today.
Those 6 Toyota drivers, remember, they were some of the
trouble
first.
turn 1, guys.
One car down, spinning. Trevor Bayne up to the wall, collects another. That is Carl Edwards. The 5th wreck that Edwards has been involved in this spring. The 34 of David Reagan involved, and that's the 35 of Riverside, California's Josh Wise. We're under caution for the 4th time. Crash in turn 1.
Huge crash, unbelievable crash.
Kyle Busch got into the back of Kasey Kahne. Kahne got turned into the wall as Busch tried to change lanes. And a lot of cars are really torn up. Yes,
some heavy hits.
It's the big one.
Yeah, that started happening before it got to the
They ain't going to make it.
They got to make it 6 more times.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There was no way.
Oh, it's Kurt Busch over and over. Boyer's in it. Bobby Labonte's in it. Stremmy's in it. Jeff Gordon down to the grass.
Nothing else coming from behind you.
And Kurt Busch went over and over.
Boyer, McMurray.
They're just, guys, I'm with Denny. And, you know, having been in these situations.
Crash on the track.
Just
Jimmy
talking about
Hamlin got
Denny
airborne. A.J. Allmendinger, Jeff Gordon, David Rudiman, Matt Kenseth all involved.
You see Denny down on the inside right there. That thing just turns right.
Yeah.
It's like
that was
something
strange.
That was really strange.
Wow. Stewart feeling good, and how about Kurt Busch in that outside lane with help from David Gilmour?
Oh, here we go.
We got trouble.
Then it's
There we
over.
go. That's it.
Like I said, you lead at the white.
That's it.
You're good to go. But they may
No
race to
caution
the
yet.
finish.
They're
Yep.
going to let them race back here. That happened over in turn 2, so they got plenty of room.
All right, let them race.
That's Busch in the outside lane, not making a move.
Oh,
Trouble behind
somebody
him.
turned Danica.
Danica and others. Jimmy Johnson gets the win at Daytona.
Yeah, she got turned right there. right there.
Yeah, it looks
as
like
the 13 car moves up on him and sends him around.
Yeah.
Scott Speed, Bobby Labonte out there.
Trouble. Start-finish line. Logano comes down into Paul Menard. One car gets up on top of a group and goes flipping over and over, and the 30 lands on its roof. That's Parker Kligerman.
Cole Witt's teammate that just wrecked in that first caution.
And Brandon Davis's team, Swan Energy, suddenly.
He actually had to back up and almost stack the entire outside.
Oh, around goes Kenson. And up into Tony Stewart, and cars are in the wall hard.
You see Carl Edwards there in the 99, Matt Kenseth in the 20.
Danica hadn't hit anything, and then her right front was hit by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. late in that crash.
Kind of big move here off turn 4 like Kevin did. Oh, and there
shots
they go.
into the wall
They
with
wrecked.
the one of McMurray. 3, 4 cars around, one on its roof. One car hard into the wall.
That was
and it ends in flames and sparks.
Our front row sitter up here, he's got a torn up race car,
Mark
78
Truex
car.
Jimmy Johnson, he looks okay. Front end of his car on fire.
Is going to crash big.
Crash out of turn number 4. A multi-car pileup. Eric Almirola, his car all torn up. That is Michael Waltrip, who will not win his 3rd Daytona 500. David Gilliland's car is crashed. Almirola's gone straight to the garage with his.
Glad you're okay. Thanks, Danica.
Thanks, Krista. Dale Earnhardt.
Whoa, here we go.
Big crash again, turn 4. It's Calamity Corner. There's rookie Reed Sorensen sliding down off the banking. Big damage to the Ford of Marcus Ambrose, number 9. And caution waves with 38 laps to go.
Marcus Ambrose with a bunch of damage there. The 7 car using every bit of the skill they have. They're trying to, got another car.
Up goes Ryan Newman. Justin Allgaier, Brian Scott, Terry Labonte.
Gone.
Cole Witt.
Right at the back of the field.
Unless they can get this cleaned up in a hurry, this is not going to be good for those drivers up front that are very marginal on fuel.
But that 88 is pulling away.
Less than a mile to go.
Oh, we got a wreck.
3rd generation star, Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
Oh, yeah! Good job, Junebug. Woo!
Reed Sorensen's race ends up in a crash. Harvick into the wall. Stand by. Crash out of turn number 4. Brad Keselowski in front of Trevor Bayne. Contact. And a big pileup.
We saw this. We
Scott.
saw this coming, Mike. We've been seeing this coming. They've been getting more and more.
5 drivers behind him right now.
Oh, there's a car. Who is that? The 48?
Oh, Logano's in it.
Yep, the
and
48.
Busch and Reagan and more.
The 48 broke loose. Looked like something may have happened to it.
Finish line. We will complete lap 20 today.
Wrecking behind you here, wrecking.
And now we have a crash. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. involved. Tony Stewart around. And that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. through the infield grass. Carl Edwards has some damage.
Kenseth just about had it missed, and looks like he ran into the 88.
Harvick,
wow,
Johnson,
a lot of good
Kyle
race
Larson.
cars. I mean, a lot of good race cars. Guys in the points.
Wow. 3 consecutive top 5 finishes at Daytona. Outside lane hanging tough here on the restart.
Oh, here we go.
Got trouble. That's Casey Kane that goes sideways. Joey Logano nowhere to go.
Oh, my. Half the field is gone.
The big one at Daytona has happened at lap 97.
That is the huge one at Daytona.
Justin Allgaier.
Oh, the
Denny
18
Hamlin,
gets on its roof.
and Kyle Busch rolls upside down.
Wow.
See the 26 car of Cole Witt, the 38 of David Gilliland.
Just having a good old time over here. Just hanging hanging around. Okay, just stay buckled up. Let them get you flipped over here.
Oh, Denny Hamlin not going to get this one back.
Hard into the wall behind him. Matt Kenseth, Menard, Vickers, and more. Look at this pileup.
Only Stewart in the middle of that.
Keselowski, Truex. What a mess. Eric Almirola.
Watching the temperatures on that 2 car. Water pressure was okay. He'll get a wedge adjustment this time.
Trouble on the track, Dave. Cars colliding on the back straightaway. Alex Bowman, 23. Tony Stewart, more piling in. Is that Kyle Busch in the inside wall? 18 car all torn up.
We're done.
J.J. Yaley.
Garage, straight to the garage, straight to the garage.
Brad Keselowski losing spots. Is there a problem on the 2? Now he's got problems. Casey Mears into the back of it.
Hold on. Caution, 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 caution.
And more collected.
Lost your transmission for no reason. I haven't missed a shift or anything. Coming at you.
Transmission problems on the 2 lead to this mess on the front straightaway.
Also in Fords. Trying to work with him there. Oh, and McMurray goes around in front of the field.
Huge wreck.
Paul Menard is in it. Clint Boyer is in it. Menard is hit by Casey Kane. His car's all torn up. And McMurray bounces off the wall, pulls away. There's Tony Stewart. His car stopped. There's Menard. 3 wide. Big cluster coming off turn number 4. Smoke, trouble, way in the back, but here come the leaders.
The question is, are they going to throw the yellow, or are they going to let them race back?
7, 8 car pile up in the back straightaway. Caution is out.
Joey Logano.
Keep coming. Just stay on the gas. Back straightaway. Stay on.
Look, I know it's a minor little thing.
Trouble, turn 4.
Holy
Caution is out. Caution is out. Big wreck at 4. Like big, big wreck.
Greg Biffle was sideways and everybody ran into him.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's in front of him.
He had nothing to do with it.
You know, Jeff has
had trouble back straightaway, guys. Car around.
Trevor Bayne.
A number of cars
and
involved.
more. Logano is in it.
Crashing all. Oh man. Look at that.
Looked like half the field piled up on lap 47.
The bottom end of the right, left rear turn distance and got back.
You're going to flip over. At speed, it doesn't feel like that. At speed, everything's...
Oh, and around we've got cars on the track. Already involved is Kyle Busch. The 16 of Greg Biffle's involved. Looks like Denny Hamlin in the 11. And this is exactly what you didn't want to see as a crew chief, Steve. Cars getting torn up. These are their primary cars.
Yeah, I mean, you're kicking yourself now if you're in this crash. Did you really need to be out there? I mean, Kyle Busch coming off his win at Sonoma, gets back to Daytona.
If it's done incorrectly, there'll be a wreck.
And around they go. The 38 goes sideways. David Gilliland sideways as they come out of turn number 4. Also involved, the 22 of Logano. The 32. Multiple cars involved in this one. Joey Logano damage to the right rear. The 26 of Jeff Burton involved. So the 38 of Gilliland. The 10 of Danica Patrick. Looks like she's front of the field. You can follow Miss Sprint Cup as the big one's happening once again. Coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall. Kyle Larson. Multiple cars sideways. Martin Truex Jr., a lot of damage to the front end of his car. Eric Almirola also involved. There's Kyle Larson. Into the triangle they come. Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the bottom of the track. Jr. will win at Daytona. And the big one happens behind them.
Oh my God.
Austin Dillon into the catch fence. All the crews getting green flag back in the air. The 4 not going. They wreck behind him. The green flag is out as they cross the start-finish line. Will they throw the caution? Trying to get back up to speed. Caution comes out. Now the question is, who was in front?
Stay in front of them. Stay in front of them.
You heard him say stay in front of them. NASCAR will go back
for the win.
Wow.
Whoa! No, that's it.
That was all at the back. We may make it to the checkered flag. The wreck is at the tail end.
They're 2 by 2. You're clear by 2.
Leaders on the back straightaway. Coming hard. Caution waves. It's over.
Caution. Hell yeah.
There might just be one right there off of turn 2.
Oh, yeah. This is going to bring it out.
Austin Dillon spins around and crashing behind him.
Still
His
going.
Two teammates, Menard and Ryan Newman, all get caught up in Austin Dillon.
Somebody got into Austin Dillon. I can't tell who it was.
Jimmy Johnson, we believe.
Wow, I've not seen a melee like that on the back straightaway here.
Chris on the leader.
Well, Brad Keselowski's won here.
Car to the wall, turn 1 hard.
Oh, that's going to be big. Big.
Oh, huge wreck.
Everybody.
They're still running into each other. Newman's on fire.
13 cars got away. Everybody else is in it. Jimmy Johnson was getting a push from Kurt Busch when that began.
Saw the 11, the 42. I mean, that's everybody.
Oh boy, Stanley Steamer.
Whoa, there's
and around she goes into Kenseth.
Oh gosh.
Up in the air and into the wall hard.
Man, Kenseth.
Man, I thought he was going to catch the catch fence back there. The way it landed was.
I am not believing that.
He's fine, boy. He got the window net down right away out of frustration. The 4 car, Harvick.
Danica climbs out. Radio cord gets disconnected. Oh boy.
I mean, you just knew it was coming. You
from the 18. Oh, the
Kyle
3 stepped
Busch,
out.
Dillon. Kyle Busch and Dillon side trouble. Car hard in the wall. 2 of them. Keselowski to the line. Caution had waved with Keselowski the leader, and crashing are Harvick, Allmendinger, Stenhouse, Truex, Labonte, and everybody else.
Good job today, Brad. That was you, man. Managing that.
I don't know how to explain this. I've never seen anything like this.
Green flag.
Whoa! No, Johnson's out of it.
Big wreck.
Can't go.
Big wreck going to happen here on the front straightaway.
No, man! You are kidding me?
Look at who came out front, though, on the back straightaway. Matt Kenseth and Larson.
And Kyle Larson.
Gosh.
There are just no words to describe what just happened.
The 48 couldn't go, and he just backed everybody up.
He spun the tire.
We've talked about Brad Keselowski being proficient at restrictor plate racing. 4 wins, and we've got trouble behind him, Rick.
Around they go.
Stay down. Go up.
It looked like it was Eric Almirola that was the first to go sideways and then collecting numerous cars behind him. May have been the one of Jamie McMurray. It was a light blue car. Chase Elliott. That's Sun Energy 1. Caught up the window net down for him. Paul Menard in the 27. Jamie McMurray trying to get it going the right direction. Kevin Harvick is involved. The 44 this week could it be Kyle Larson running in the 4th spot. And around goes the 4. Kevin Harvick involved in this one, as is the 23 of David Reagan. Once again, chase implications. They stay green, and now caution. Now the caution comes out. Kevin Harvick, David Reagan. Brad Keselowski was able to get by. Oh, and sideways goes the 41. Contact with the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Caution comes out. The 21 also involved.
Inside. Hold tight here.
Looked like the 41 of Kurt Busch got really loose off.
Kyle Larson also a lot of damage, as well as Brian Scott in the 44.
Keselowski giving no room whatsoever to the 18.
And another big crash on the backstretch, Rick.
And right up in front of more traffic.
Behind you in 3. Ryan Newman's in it.
David Reagan is in it.
Well,
Fire.
And Chris Buescher was in it as well.
Chris Buescher involved. The 83 of Dylan Lupton up on top of the 31. The Fire underneath the hood of the 23. And the 14 of Tony Stewart. Oh, and he gets bumped from behind by the 78. Around goes the 3 on the restart. The 24 of Chase Elliott also around. Hard contact by Austin Dillon. Also caught up. The 44 of Brian Scott.
That's real nice.
That's what I was talking about. If the 3 couldn't accelerate, how patient.
The outside. Carl Edwards on the inside. Green flag back in the air. They're blocking. Good go down low. Carl Edwards into the wall. He got tagged by the 22. Big hits by the 19. And the caution comes back out again.
That is exactly what we saw Joey Logano was going to try to do. Big fire of the 78. But that is what we thought was going to happen. Obviously, the wreck isn't what we thought. Martin Truex Jr. needs to get out of this race car.
Very aggressive on the restart. The flames rolling out from underneath the hood of the 78.
A little bit loose and crazy as they get the end of the back straight.
I mean, do they think it's 10 to
go?
go?
Trouble. Here we go. Here we go.
Jimmy Johnson got turned, and they pile up behind him.
14, 48. I mean, the whole crowd. There's a 10. Wow. Lord have mercy. There you go.
5th caution flag of the day. 7-time series champ Johnson. Clint Boyer is in it. On the inside, excuse me, that's Kane. Oh, big trouble.
But wreck. Did they not wreck?
No, they're wrecking.
Suarez to the inside along with Newman. Cars piling up to the outside and all the way across the track.
Was that?
They're still wrecking.
Oh, McMurray's involved. It almost looked like the rear bumper of possibly Chase Elliott got turned into somebody.
That car, he said, I think we're going to have a fast race car. His spotter, Eddie DeHunt, just told him it's time to be greedy.
There he goes. There we go. Here we go.
Oh, upside
down.
Side.
Well, AJ, that was a humdinger.
Yes, it was, and that's there he is upside down, and I hope he's all right. I see him moving around in there. I don't think there's any issue with him.
Yeah, you just can't push on the left side of that rear bumper.
Well, you just can't keep pushing. He got into the 24 and just kept on pushing. But Mike, I'm telling you, I started my first race here in 1972.
Wow, he's sideways. Oh,
no.
Big crash back straight away.
Crashed.
That'll be it.
Big wreck going into 3. I mean, look at them. They're wrecking everywhere.
I think they made it to the overtime line.
Now NASCAR will have to look at video to determine whether the leader was at the overtime line or not before the caution.
So many good cars. We're having great days here, all wadded up in the 3rd.
17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Look at the hands on AJ Allmendinger. Up in the air goes the 42 of Kyle Larson. Caution comes out. And another contact. Matt Kenseth hits. The 1 of Jamie McMurray flying down pit road. Kyle Larson up in the air, right in front of the grandstands. He gets a shove behind him. Green flag back in the air. Caution's going to come out. They're wrecking behind him. Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney. Look at all the damage to the 15. Riding along with the bat cam, 100 miles an hour on that camera as they go down the back stretch.
Oh, there it is.
Hard into the wall. The 41 of Kurt Busch. He'll collect the rest of the field.
The 18's in it. The 48's in it.
The 88 is in it. Just on the front edge. He starts to roll now on the apron. The 32 of Matt DiBenedetto. The 4 of Harvick.
20 of Matt Kenseth.
78, Martin Truex Jr. Brendan Gaughan in the 77 of Eric Jones, and the 24, and around goes the 77 of Jones, almost up over the wall as they hit hard. The 20 of Kenseth involved, as is the 1 of McMurray. A big wreck coming out of turn 2.
Inside, watch your inside. All right, we're rolling, guys. 4 flat.
Riding along with the 20, you see the steering wheel shaking. Martin Truex Jr. has never won on a short track. As he comes out of 4, it's a drag race. They wreck behind him. Kyle Busch will win.
Yes, sir. Checkered.
Big wreck on the front stretch. A parking lot right in front of the grandstands.
Number 22 of Logano to see if he will be penalized. Look at this! Oh, Stenhouse! He saved it!
No, Jones is not going to be able to save it.
Jones did not. Come on. Jones, his teammate Suarez, William Byron, Jimmy Johnson are all in it along with Ty Dillon. Oh,
Trevor Bayne was able to weave his way through there.
Big push coming from Elliott and Keselowski. Contact! Elliott slam into the wall.
Are you kidding me?
Danica Patrick, Casey Kane.
Oh, man.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, took the wind out of Chase Elliott. Fast, you cannot protect against that run.
Oh, Kurt Busch! Around off the bumper of Blaney.
Inside. Call collector inside. You should be the leader.
Looks like
Truex
yesterday.
not able to avoid this one. Or Bowman.
Oh, Bowman's got it. Benedetto, Stenhouse, a bunch of them.
DiBenedetto all torn up.
I mean, we keep seeing these big runs coming, but then you saw Chase Elliott on the outside of the 18 and the 41 right there.
Trouble! One car around and one in the wall.
Hamlin's in
11 and the 10.
Hamlin, Keselowski involved, and Almirola, and Jimmy Johnson. Good grief.
That was crazy. 38's torn up, 10's torn up.
Crash back straightaway. Eric Jones up into Jamie McMurray, who collects Trevor Bayne in the 6, and it's on.
Oh, hard
Bayne, a hard hit. Martin Truex involved. Kyle Larson. And we're under caution.
You saw McMurray. You'll see him. He gets involved in this. It almost looked like his forwards, but kind of sandwiched in between 3 fast Chevrolets, too. 88, 9, 48.
Oh, they're spinning.
Oh, Menard up and into Boyer, into the wall. Gets collected by McDowell.
Oh, no.
Keselowski crashes, and more cars are littered at the bottom of the racetrack.
Guys, I think that somebody may have gotten loose, got either into Jimmy Johnson or his car got loose and came down.
Here comes Jimmy through the middle of the melee. And
not sure Jimmy has much damage. How about the 18?
Harvick upstairs.
Boy, he is, and he is right up against that wall, but he made the pass. Oh, trouble.
Hard at the wall goes William Byron.
Nose is in.
Oh.
Heavy.
Byron went in hard.
Oh. Matt Kent's has piled into Byron right to the 14 car right at the end there. 24 set down here on fire. 37, the 1. That was a huge wreck.
Chris Buescher involved.
You can see William moving around a little bit.
That's Ty Dillon.
There.
How many cars can go in that turn at one?
Larson.
Four wide. Oh, no.
And into the wall.
No.
Goes Kurt Busch and Truex and more. Boyer all torn up. Keselowski.
Mercy.
Oh, overtime.
Well, we know as we get closer to those $1 million.
Right in the middle now. Just waiting for whichever line. Huge push. And around goes a 2. Too big of a push. He caught the 41.
The big one.
Logano's caught up in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Denny Hamlin. Austin Dillon has damage. Daniel Suarez trying to avoid. Ty Dillon sliding in. A wreck 22 of Joey Logano sitting on the apron. A wreck 2.
All the Penske cars right there. The one organization that everybody came here thinking they had the best shot to win, all 3 of their cars wiped out in this accident.
Ryan Blaney in the 12, sitting there in the grass. You saw the 2 of Brad Keselowski. 4. Once they get the white flag, the next flag will call it the 14 around. Bowyer into the wall. The caution comes out just before they get to the start-finish line.
Some big impacts.
Bain caught up, as is Bubba Wallace. Brendan Gaughan also in this. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson, Trevor Bain. A lot of damage to Jimmy Johnson's car. Ross Chastain.
He really closed on Kyle Larson in 3 and 4.
And a pile up in the middle. The 18 of Kyle Busch is around. Contact, they're rolling in there. Greg Gaulding hits late.
And Steve, you said it.
I don't know if they got the left front or
Just because you have a great car doesn't mean you're going to avoid these kind of things. It's lap 2. Already in wreck.
And you see the 18 pull away, the tail panel damaged very heavily.
Martin Truex Jr. And 2 hard through 1. Keselowski, Larson both into the wall. They pile up in the Tums heartburn turn. Caution coming out again.
Yeah, I just had no grip or drove it. My fault.
Trevor Bain in the 6 also involved.
We talked about
that's working really well.
Oh, Jimmy gonna take.
Oh, no, Jimmy!
Contact.
And around goes Menard into the wall, taking cars with him.
Come on, high. Clear, clear, clear. All clear.
There. Big wreck.
You got it.
Well, I'm just wondering, did that suck the back end of the car around on Menard, or did they make contact that turned him around?
When the 48 gets on your bumper like that, it probably had something to do with it.
Oh,
no,
Benedetto! And everybody!
Good.
Oh,
no. Are you kidding me? This is big. Wow. But it.
Boy, it just reminds me of the Clash. Same type of carnage that we saw where these cars were going everywhere. A lot of damage as they all got to turn 3.
Well, that ruined everything.
I mean, sometimes I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Oh, he's going to turn the 30. Oh, man, he almost turned the 34 McDowell.
Great save by McDowell. Now, here we go. They wrecked again.
Larson and Stenhouse. You won't believe how Ryan Preece shot the gap and got through there. I can't believe it.
But you know what I can't believe? They wrecked again. I can't believe that.
We'll have a great view of that, Mike, with that visor cam on Ryan Preece.
There's your leader.
Now
there's your second, third, fourth, fifth play, and that's all the cars.
This is the question now. It's happened right there. Now 3 wide, 2 rows back, 3 rows back. Oh, Bowyer gets turned.
Yeah,
looked to me like he came up just a little bit too early on McDowell.
Oh my gosh.
And William Byron's luck runs out.
Get through that one.
What memo did we not get? I mean, this is crazy. Well.
And the Joe Gibbs.
Can he stay out of the line as the racing continues? Austin Dillon up front. They shifted him out.
It's going to be a big one.
And now around goes the 3 in front of the pack. They're all collected. The 11 with damage, the 22 as well.
Big wreck here.
Smoke rolling out of the cars that even cleared this incident. They shuffled out. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, and then while trying to regroup, the 3 of Austin Dillon gets around. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 17, major damage.
A lot of good cars in this block from Chase Elliott. I think fortunate to get away with that.
How about Alex Bowman in the 88? He gets a shove. He's going to go sideways, right in front of the pack. The 48 caught up, and the 9 is caught up. The caution has come out. He got a big shove right into the front of the pack. The 42 of Kyle Larson, he is there. The 11 is caught up. And flames coming out from underneath the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Alex Bowman up front, blocking, trying to stay up front. Got a sideline, falls back.
3 forwards and outside line organized to push and help each other.
Oh, and around goes the 22. A hard hit by Joey Logano.
We're in again.
The 41. Logano was running in the second position up there on that outside line.
Left rear tire blew out on the 22 car.
That's how fast things change here.
Suspension. The hood's up. It doesn't look terrible. Bring it to me. We'll get that tape down.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back to the front. Another hood flap flies off. Oh, around goes the 18. The 42 collects the 17 as well. The 62 upside down. Brendan Gaughan upside down as he went back in front of the pack.
We're wrecked here, guys.
And the big one happens right at the front of the field.
That was crazy. Brendan Gaughan just flipped around, fortunately landed on his tires.
The 2.